So I never would have thought this before, but well, we know content makes a difference in terms of how many leads you get from your website. But I never thought about the order of the content until recently. The order of the content really makes a massive difference in terms of how many leads you're able to generate through your website. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is our website at westoverweb.com. This is our new homepage. And as you'll see, it's got a very specific structure. It's designed to lead a potential customer through a journey of helping them to understand what we do, first of all, but also how they can use us to solve the problem that we're trying to solve. And that's really the goal of this process, is to find a pain point that your customers are feeling and then show that you are the best solution to that pain point. So briefly, I'll show you our website, and then I'll show you something we created that's actually going to help you to do this for yourself. So you'll notice this is our hero section. This is called a lot of different things. I like calling it the hero section. But this identifies the big thing that your business does. But then the next section really gives the general problem. It's designed for your customers to see it and go, yes, that's me, that's my problem. And somewhere in this section, your customers or your potential customers should be able to identify themselves. Well, then the next section is the solution. It provides a broad solution. Here's what we do to solve the problem that you have. Again, very simple, and you'll notice we've got a book a strategy call throughout. Now, this is our call to action. You come up with your own call to action, but this is strategically placed. So we put it in this hero section, the book a strategy call. We put it up in the website header next to the menu. You'll see this in several key strategic places that people are just familiar clicking on buttons, and that's really important. You want to provide some familiarity for your clients as you show them the way that you solve their problem. And so the next section is really about benefits. The idea here is to provide the specific benefits and then show the things that produce those benefits. And so we'll get to that a little bit more in a minute. And then we want to show a step-by-step, kind of how it works. And really the goal of this section is to show the client the next step. In almost every client conversation I've had over the last 5 years, clients ask this question: how do I get started? What's the next step? Well, that's what this section is designed to show. And then, of course, the reviews section, right? You have what our clients say about us, the testimonials, lots of different ways to refer to this section. This is to build trust. It's to let your clients know that you're actually working with other clients, and man, they look happy. And the next section is the frequently asked questions. Now, there's several ways to approach this, and we have some other sections laid out and designed that might work better for your business. I think most businesses will appreciate having a frequently asked questions section. This is designed to specifically answer objections that your clients might have. And this is kind of an optional section, but it's one that I recommend, is a lead magnet section. And so what this is create lead generating content with AI prompts. And the goal of this is to collect an email so that you can further see how you can assist the client. It's really just a conversation starter. And then the final piece is what I like to call your hard sell, right? This is your hard CTA, your hard call to action, where you're giving a little bit of urgency, a little bit of fear of missing out language here, and you want to go back to that call to action right here at the end. And then, of course, the footer. Simple footer, 3-column. We've got our logo, again, a restatement of what we do, social media links, some navigation links here, and then a map, which really ties into more local SEO strategy. So now that you've kind of seen the overview, I want to take you to a page on our site that actually explains what each of these sections is. Now, this is a live page on our site, westoverweb.com/perfectly converting homepage. Now, ignore this orange section. That is just another way to get those AI prompts that I told you about. And again, I'll explain that more in just a minute. But what this is designed to do is to explain each section and in pretty great detail here so you can visually see how the page should be laid out. Again, the goal here is to present something that's familiar to your users, but also something that informs your users, shows them how your business is going to solve their big pain point. So again, what you want to come up with is the main benefit your customers receive, and then in one sentence, tell what you do to help your customer receive that main benefit, and then state your primary call to action. Of course, over here on the right, we want to show an image of a typical happy customer after you solve their problem. So people love to see smiling faces because they want to be happy. They want their problem solved. And so again, psychologically, this is incredibly helpful. Put a picture of what your typical happy, satisfied customer might look like. Down here, again, kind of the same idea where we have this frustrated looking guy, an image that represents the frustration and problems your target customer is experiencing. You want your customer to see that picture and go, yep, that's me most days. That's how I feel. And then here you want to communicate the general problem your target customer experiences. Ask your target customer if they can relate to these problems. And then here's where you want to get real specific. Like the general problem is already stated. Now you want to give some scenarios and break down the general problem into some specific problems that you know your customers have. And then you can either state these specifics or ask them a question, right? The goal here is to relate to the customers in some scenario-based situations, like some very specific things that they might be facing or they probably are facing on a regular basis. So once you establish that and the client says, yes, this is me, I relate to this, then you come down to the solution section and you want to state how your business or how you personally can be the solution to that big general problem. And so on the left column, you want to give a statement of understanding. Hey, I understand. I've worked with dozens of clients just like you. I get the problem. And then you also want to explain then how you've helped clients solve that problem, right? So you have a statement of trust and understanding, but also a statement that shows you can get results, right? And this next line is really just an invitation. It's letting them know that we are happy to work with you. We want to work with you. Reach out to us. It's why we exist. And then again, perfect place to put your primary call to action. Over here on the right, we want to show that the customer is happy. This is, I love this picture particularly because there's no computer in the way, right? If you notice this picture here, the computer is in the way of this frustrated guy. He's staring at it. He's consumed with it. This lady, her computer's back there on the desk somewhere. She's happy. All her problems are solved, right? So that really communicates what we do is we don't want you to have to think about your website and think about what's on your computer. We just want you to be happy in your business, and we'll take care of the computer stuff, of the website stuff. All right, so again, this is probably the hardest section to create, right? The benefits section. So explain the benefits of working with you. And the reason this is so hard is because we always want to share the features, the services, the what we do part. And we want to tell people because we're experts in a particular area. And so we want to say, here's what we do. You really don't want that. You want to share the benefits. You want to share what they get. And so benefit 1, benefit 2, 3, 4, and then explain the feature or the service that provides that benefit. So again, that's a little bit difficult to come up with, but again, I'm going to show you in a minute a shortcut and a way to get to that. Then you want to provide directions and the next steps. Really, this is 3 steps. It's really only one. The second step here, the big picture of what you do, that's really the only step. That's what you do. This is how you solve the problem. And so you want to give like your quick pitch and the answer you give when people ask you, hey, what does your business actually do? And that's what you want to summarize here in a very short couple of sentences. Step 1 is just your primary call to action. It's no different than what you put here. And then step 3 is where you want your client to be. It's your vision for your client, right? It's where you want them to end after you work with them. And the goal here is you want, happy customers. So you want to describe the result or the benefit that your customer receives after they pay you to do whatever it is that you do. And so that section is actually pretty easy to create, especially after you create this one. And then you want to get to your testimonies. Now, a few things here about the testimonies and the reviews. There's some elements here that you see that are pretty clear. You really want to have a picture, if you can, of the client. You want to have their name, of course, their title, their business. And then this review really needs to have 3 elements. It needs to say what the problem was, what this client's problem was before they started working with you. They need to talk about the result after they started working with you. And then they need to talk about how they feel. Like, I feel great. I'm not as stressed. I have peace of mind. You want to look for those kinds of emotive words that really connect with people. And then then you want to give a 2 to 3 word review summary. So if this client is talking about a specific problem that you help them solve, they might say best service ever, something like that. And so you want to summarize that in 2 to 3 word review summary that just catches people's attention. Best service ever. And then you want to put some stars here. And you can make these colored stars. This just matches our color palette a little better than putting yellow stars. So we have these little dark gray stars. But put 5 stars on there. People want to see that. And then frequently asked questions. Okay, this is really my favorite section on the site because it's a little sneaky. All right, you're answering questions, but you're really answering the most common objections, the most common questions that potential customers ask. These are barrier questions, right? These are things when people kind of want to work with you, but they're not really sure. So they've got some questions they want to ask, and they're waiting to see how you respond to those questions before they make their decision. Well, this allows you to prime them for that, right? They already have the answers to the most common objections. And so when you finally do talk to them, they're already kind of soft-sold because they already know the answers to these questions. So a great use of an FAQ here. And then the request that they take action, right? This is what I call the hard call to action, the hard CTA. You want to create that sense of urgency. You want to highlight the consequences of not working with you, create some fear of missing out if they don't work with you, and then again, give them your primary call to action. So these are all of the sections of the site. Again, there's some other things that we could add in here depending on the business and how much you want to share. But really, when it comes to creating a sales page or a landing page like this, less is more, right? You don't want to put too much in here, and there's a lot of content already here. So when you think about creating this page, it might seem a little bit overwhelming, right? There's a lot here. Well, I don't love everything about AI, but I love this about AI. So if you look up at the top of this page, you'll see this section that says click to get the AI prompts to create the content sections on this page. So of course you click that and you're going to get the AI prompts. But in addition to that, you're going to get a list of 15 questions. Now those 15 questions are crucial. If you answer these 15 questions about your business and you answer them thoroughly, then you'll be able to provide those questions and provide those answers to an AI model like ChatGPT or like Claude AI, along with our prompts, and it will be able to give you all of the content that you need for these sections. Now, if you've ever used AI, if you've used ChatGPT or Claude, you know that it doesn't get everything right always the first time. We've tested these prompts a lot and they get it right most of the time. So we might have to correct one section and say, hey, redo the benefits section or redo the how it works section. But in general, the way we've crafted these prompts gets it right almost every time. So I'm excited for you to try this and see if you can begin integrating some of this content into your website. Now, our site is developed in WordPress, and we specifically use the Divi framework, the Divi theme, the Divi page builder by Elegant Themes. It's an amazing setup, and most of our clients use that same setup. So for us to integrate this content that AI generates is pretty simple. So check out this video about why we use WordPress for our site and for our clients' websites. And then let us know if you have any questions about using these AI prompts to create your homepage content.